Hey guys, it's Lainey and today I'm giving you guys a non-spoiler series review. This non-spoiler book series is going to be on, this is the first book, Killing Sarai, and I absolutely love this series. I fell completely in love with it over the past few months. Currently, right now, there are 5 books out in the series, and they are Killing Sarai, Reviving Isabel, The Swan and the Jackal, Seeds of Iniquity, and The Black Wolf. Now, recently you guys probably heard me say this is my second favorite series of all time, and I definitely stand behind that. It is everything I like in a story, and I'm just obsessed with it. I'm going to start out with kind of talking about what the book series is about. It centers around a group of assassins. They all kind of work together and go on jobs together. While the world and the relationships and the characters themselves are expanding book to book, it starts out very small, in a very small one story arc kind of story. Killing Sarai and Reviving Isabel are the first books that kind of jump off the rest of the series. Talking about kind of the first 2 books, Killing Sarai starts out with a young woman named Sarai who is about 21, 22, I think, at the beginning of the series. She is a captive in a Mexican kind of cartel. What happened was her mother was really involved with one of the drug lords, and she took her and her daughter to Mexico, and that's kind of where Sarai has been since she was 14. She's kind of just held captive. She is the drug lord's favorite. Her mother is now dead. Even though she has been held captive since she was 14, she has a very strong desire to still leave. And that is where Victor Faust comes in. Victor is a hitman for an organization, and he has business with the Mexican drug lord that Sarai is being held captive under. So she finds her only opportunity to flee the compound when Victor shows up and has negotiations with the drug lord. When no one's looking, she hides in his car, and when he leaves, he discovers that he has an extra person in the car with him, and it kind of goes from there to where people in Mexico are trying to find her, and she's trying to leave that life behind so she can have her own. Victor is also struggling with the fact that there is someone with him. He never goes out of his way to help other people, so he is struggling with the fact that he is with someone who wants to get away, and he is kind of struggling with his moral obligation of what he should do and what he shouldn't do. Their relationship that self kind of grows from there. I've said this before in a lot of other videos where I mention the series, is that I liken the first 2 books to Mr. and Mrs. Smith. If you like that movie, I think you're really going to like this, because there's a lot of romance, there's a lot of action, there's a lot of gore and action scenes and intensity and lots of mature content. What I really love about this series is that it keeps growing bigger and bigger with each book, because the first 2 books solely focus on Victor and Isabel and their story, and then as the books progress, they introduce you to some of the people in Victor's inner circle and start to follow them. You get to see their struggles with kind of living this life, because it's very obvious in these books that living this kind of assassin life is not glamorous, and you really can't form relationships with other people, because other relationships equals weakness. And I love that running theme throughout the entire series so far, is that these people that you kind of grow close to are your biggest weakness. There's also a lot of romance in this story that I think a lot of people will enjoy. I don't want to get into what the other books are about, but I do want to say that the 3rd book, The Swan and the Jackal, has the biggest plot twist that I have ever read in a story before, that I absolutely loved. It was so heartbreaking. I actually cried in this book because it just really hit me, and I was just so sad. I can't go down that road. The 4th book, Seeds of Iniquity, introduced me to my favorite badass female character of all time. This book is actually not that long. It takes place over just a course of a few days, and it's just so intense. And the character that we were introduced to, Nora, she is so far up in my favorite female characters list, but she is the most badass character of all time, and I will argue that with people who think otherwise. And then finally, the 5th book, I really can't talk too much about because it kind of spoils a lot, but I really can't say a lot other than the fact that I feel like, especially with this 5th book, there's definitely like an end of a chapter that you feel that you have read of all these people's lives, and that the next books that are going to be coming out are really going to like have a new freshness and a new storylines for all these characters, because we kind of see them all at their worst in these past few books, and so now we have to move on to the next part of the story. So why I really like this series is that there's a big cast of characters, and I really love a big cast of characters. Also, it's told in multiple perspectives. While each book kind of focuses on a certain character, you sometimes still get other perspectives from the other characters in the books. There's also multiple things always going on, and you have the main storyline of each character that's going on if they're the focus of each book. But there's also a lot of side stories that are going on that kind of fit into the overall mission, I guess, and story of what is going on with these characters. Also, what this series does is that it falls into the team bad guy syndrome, which is kind of where you root for the bad guys. All of these people, they're assassins. They kill people. While they do kill people that they are contracted to kill, they are still taking a human life. They're taking big risks and making very tough and hard decisions. I think that speaks a lot about an author and about their writing if they can make you sympathize with these killers. For me, I'm totally rooting for all of these characters. These characters I feel like I'm very close to and that I don't want any harm coming to them. I love when movies, TVs, books do that to me. They make me root for the characters that would normally be seen as the villains. You know, it puts that characterization of labels and good versus evil in perspective when you are in the perspective of an evil person and kind of the perception of what you see them as. And I feel like they're human. I'm able to connect with them, and that's why I like them so much, even if they are, you know, evil. You just get really invested in these characters, and I love that when the characters are so strong, and it's very character driven, but it's also very story driven, because there's things coming down the road that I'm expecting to happen, and I want to see how these characters deal with it. I have no idea how many books are supposed to be in this series, but I know there's a 6th book coming out, and I really want it. I kind of made this series review because I want to get this series out there more. I think a lot of people really enjoy it, especially you guys who kind of have the same taste as I do in books. I think you'll really enjoy it. Definitely recommend the In the Company of Killers series. I think you guys will really enjoy it, and if you read it, please let me know. I really want to find more people that have read this series besides my friends. I hope you guys all have a really great day, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye!